Yes, it's on. Mm-hmm. It is live. G, it's already live. Hello. Yes, of course. I'm sorry, I'm going to unplug my earphones in a bit. I'm talking to Pallav, and uh, we are just trying things out. So at the moment, I'm listening to him and I'm saying hello on his behalf to you all. Um, so yeah, within a moment, this will be off, so you can hear what he's saying too. Great. Mhm. Is it fine? Can you hear me? I said.
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Okay.
I can hear the no, both audio that I have.
Just say hello to everyone that way.
That's the idea, yeah. Say hi, Varanam also will communicating. Okay. So I will ask you a question and you will, because there are many people who have asked specific questions.
Okay.
सबसे पहला सवाल ये है कि भी आपकी डिग्री देख के तो मैं ही डर गया हूँ, आपने जितना पढ़े हो.
Thank you.
तो बस यही होता है कि जो रिमोट प्लेसेस में रहते हैं या जो कोड नहीं कर सकते हैं, तो उनके लिए यार कोई नोटेशन रीड नहीं करता है और ऐसे ही स्टेज पे बहुत अच्छा बजा लेते हैं.
करेक्ट.
बट वो नोटेशन नहीं पढ़ते हैं, तो उनको चीज को लेकर के काफी इनफीरियरिटी होती है या वो लोग करते हैं इनफीरियर उनको.
ओके.
सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक हर एक के पास मत नहीं होती कि वो या जैसे आपने प्लान आउट किया, वो मैं आपको बाद में पूछूंगा. पर सबसे पहला जो पेनफुल सवाल है वो यही है कि मैंने हिस्ट्री में देखा है कि कुछ एक लोगों को, मैं साइकोलॉजी और फिजियोलॉजी को भी समझता हूँ, तो लोग प्रेशर से या बीमारियों से they were not writing music. That was one of the reasons. I'm not saying कि वही reason था, but that was one of the reasons. और दावे के साथ मैं नहीं कह सकता, पर जहाँ तक मैंने जो अभ्यास किया है उसकी ये कि वो you are what you think and your physiology is what you think. तो जो बच्चे या जो नए स्टूडेंट्स हैं या जो लोग बिना पढ़ के बजा रहे हैं पर बहुत अच्छा बजा रहे हैं, जैसे हम लोग ट्रेन में एक बच्चे को सुनते हैं और हमारा दिल डोल उठता है या वीडियो वायरल बजा रहा है, तो उनको तो बेचारे को पता भी नहीं होता है कि वो क्या गा बजा है. सो व्हाट आर योर ओपिनियन, बिकॉज आपने इतनी सारी डिग्रियां धारण कर ली.
जी.
तो प्लीज गाइड अस ऑन दैट.
सी मेरे पहले मैं आई थिंक इट्स बेटर इफ आई जस्ट क्विकली रिपीट द क्वेश्चन बिकॉज आई डोंट नो इफ सबको सुनाई दिया होगा या नहीं.
ओके.
तो पल्लव जी मुझे ये पूछ रहे हैं कि बिकॉज आई हैव लॉट ऑफ क्वालिफिकेशंस ऑन इन म्यूजिक एंड हम काफ़ी बार ऐसे देखते हैं कि इंडस्ट्री में काफ़ी म्यूजिशियंस होते हैं या नए स्ट्रगलिंग, आई वोंट से स्ट्रगलिंग, बट एवरीबडी इज ग्रोइंग एट एवरी पॉइंट. So there are a lot of musicians who are trying to make something big in our industry. So सबके पास degrees नहीं होती और everyone is not so well qualified on papers, I would say. When I talk about qualification, for me, qualification is not in terms of papers all the time. You know, qualification for me is basically if you can play or if you cannot play. For me, it's something as simple as that. See, in my opinion, we have to look at these examinations in a different light. Examinations, before the examinations were made, if you look at the history, music ki, there are composers like Bach, or uske pehle Mozart, Beethoven, and some of the greatest classical composers. Piano. मैं piano की बात करूँगा, of course, because that's what I've studied a lot. But in all parts of the world, in the classical music, in all forms of music, the creators who made that music had never studied or never had a degree in that music. The guy who first created blues, or the person who made stride piano, if you look at pianists like James P. Johnson, yeah, Bud Powell or Art Tatum, pianists like these, they had not gone. I mean, they must have studied classical music, yes, but if they had focused more only on the graduation and the degrees and things like that, then I doubt if they would have become what they are. Of course, I'm not saying qualification is wrong and things. I have a lot of qualifications, but then the notion here, ये जो सोच होती है वो सबको देखना जरूरी है, वो क्या सोचते हैं क्वालिफिकेशन के बारे में. When in schools we study music, yeah, when we study with different teachers in private, there is a general approach which is followed by everyone, which is to study for 8 years, do grade 8, because India mein we are following the English system, so we have the grade 1 to 8, and then we have the diplomas and ऐसे सब होता है. So all the teachers, they put us through these grades. I mean, rather, they ask us to go through these grade examinations and everything, and based on these examinations, we do work which is listed in the syllabus. So, for example, if a student is doing grade 2 piano, okay, he has learned piano for 1 year. अभी उसको टीचर ने कहा है कि आप grade 2 piano करो. What generally happens is that in the entire year, he will be doing only those 3 pieces from the book, or maybe 1 or 2 pieces from outside somewhere, different repertoire, what we call it, the list of pieces that he could play at that level. So in 365 days, a child has learned only 4 to 5 pieces of music, which if you compare to the kind of music that we have, the amount of music that we have in this world, it's negligible, it's insignificant. If a child learns for 8 years in this fashion, in his 8 years of life, of career of music, he will eventually would have learned only 40 pieces. 8 fives are 40. So if you think of 1 year, 5 pieces, 1 grade, he has learned only 40 pieces. And that too, the older pieces, जैसे उसने grade 8 किया, तो वो lessons इतने weak होते हैं या content में कमजोर होते हैं कि the child has to focus more on only those 2 or 3 pieces. जो पहले किया हुआ है वो सब भूल जाता है. So at any point, this is what happens. See, if you ask any student which grade they have done, and they proudly say I've done this diploma, or I've done this grade 8, or I've done grade 7, 6, 5, whatever they have done, you put them at a piano and you ask them to play. Rarely does it happen with me that I've met someone who has maybe grade 2 or grade 3, and they stopped giving exams, and after that they have studied on their own with teachers, with teachers of course, but they have studied and they have never given any exams, but they play wonderfully. They play as if they have done some great qualifications and diplomas. But on the other hand, majority of the students that I've met, I would say around 80 to 90% of students I've met from different parts of our country, and they have done grade 7s, grade 8s. Some of them have done diplomas. In fact, a lot of teachers, I would say that I've met a lot of teachers. They have done a lot of diplomas, but when they sit at the piano, they themselves have iota of idea, very less idea about what they're playing or what is the interpretation, or they just know very few things. So it's very rough. Then it becomes like a superficial playing, because a person has been focusing only on exams all his life. In my opinion, for the musicians like we like जैसे आपने बताया, those people who are playing in the train and everything, उन्होंने कहाँ exams दिए? उन्होंने किसी ने exams नहीं दिए. Nobody. But still they could play. If we look at the
उनको पता है कि अगर मैं आज अच्छा नहीं गाऊंगा तो मुझे शाम का खाना नहीं मिलेगा.
Correct. They live hand to mouth. आज बजाएंगे ट्रेन में 10-5 घंटे जो भी, so they can eat. Now that is playing out of desperation. And if you look at creators of jazz music, the generation that created jazz music, basically the society that created jazz music, it came from a very, very poor strata of the social society. I mean, they did not have money. They were mostly from a very not so well-to-do part of the society in the Americas, especially in New York. This is what it started with. It started with the blacks, the community. They are the ones who were the pioneers of jazz. If you look at that time, there was no musician who was not colored and he was not playing. I mean, um, long time back when jazz was like up in a stage, the blues and the hard bop and the bebop jazz, those people necessarily did not have big degrees. Some of them were autodidact, self learned. Like you have learned most of the things on your own. Like
Yeah.
I mean, आपके पास degrees नहीं है, but very few people can do what you're doing. So you yourself are a great example of what you're saying. So
thank you. In fact, I got मतलब हाँ पैसे दे दिए थोड़ा सीख लिया, पैसे दे दिए थोड़ा सीख लिया, पर हाँ as such मैंने ना विशारद किया है ना कोई भी डिग्री ले, क्योंकि डिग्री लेंगे तो खाएंगे क्या, मतलब वही हालत था.
करेक्ट. और तभी के जमाने में
your message, what would be one line or two line message to those who are struggling getting to study. और मुझे बताइए कि YouTube में जो जिस तरह से वीडियो देखा, जैसे अभी मैंने 2 दिन पहले अपने अतुल से जो कन्वर्सेशन किया उसमें उसने कुछ वेबसाइट दिए थे. ये वेबसाइट $15-20 या उस तरह का पे करके बहुत सारा कर सकते. अच्छा पहले कटे तो मैं वापस. हाँ,
no problem, that's okay. Yeah.
Okay, यार नहीं कटा, वो मुझे आपकी आवाज ठीक नहीं है. Okay, so ठीक है. Are you receiving any questions from anybody? Like जो नहीं करे.
Actually, I haven't been paying attention.
Sorry. कोई technical question है?
Okay. As of now, no. But I'm really happy a lot of people are joining in, and that they can share a lot of knowledge. We can share a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, all are eagerly waiting. जैसे मैंने posts किए. So, but first of all, thank you very much. आपने अपना समय निकाल के you took an initiative and support the mission.
You're welcome. So, in fact, I share a lot of views which are very common between us. जैसे हमने एक बार कुछ दिन पहले एक बार बात की थी फोन पे, and we shared a lot of ideas, and strikingly we think so similarly about a lot of things. So in fact I am very glad that you invited me to do this, because very few people, पहली बात तो आप जैसा आपका जो mission है to spread awareness of music, very few people do that, honestly. Secondly, you have so many followers who are musicians and they are learning a lot from you. Recently I met a student India में जब मैं था वहाँ पे 2-3 दिन के लिए, and he wanted to learn from me, but because of a lot of problems and he could not do it. And then I know that he's learning from your videos and he's going to get success, because what you teach is incredible. Because a few days back I spoke to him on Facebook, and I asked him how's it going and all. So he's watching your videos and he's learning, and I'm really happy, because there are very few people, honestly, who are doing this benevolent work. I mean, I would say benevolent because you're doing it for a cause of spreading music, and I honestly, I'm very glad to be a part of something like this, where I can share my knowledge,
Thank you.
with all the people who really want to take it. It's theirs, I mean, otherwise I know everybody. जैसे मैं जब बॉम्बे में था, मैं पढ़ रहा था piano. I learned with late Mrs. Evelyn Acharya. She was one of my earlier teachers. I learned with many other teachers also. I'll tell you all later. But my longest tenure as a student was with her. And with her, I saw many students who used to come and learn, and वो अंधेरी लोकन वाला में रहती थी, मैं भी वही रहता था. And काफी सारे students आते थे, and they were extremely well-to-do, and they never valued knowledge. That's what I've seen. And then she had some students who found it extremely hard to pay her fees. A lot of times she gave them discounts, and they're like, she used to always like, sometimes just so she used to sometimes like discount their fees at entirely. And I realized that they were the ones, my colleagues who were like this as music students, they were the ones who actually made tremendous progress, and now some of them are actually working in different parts of the world in the music industry. And what it showed me is that it's not only the social status, money, or the qualifications or learning in some extremely big university or college that will bring you knowledge. To be a musician, all you need is an instrument to practice on, is the right knowledge from a right source. It could be a teacher, it could be a teacher on YouTube videos like watching you, or it could be from books. It could be from anywhere. As long as a person has a thirst to quench, he's going to find knowledge and he's going to succeed. You don't have to go to some massively big universities to find that. I mean, of course, universities में जाके आपको एक exposure मिलेगा, but if अगर आपको चाहत है म्यूजिक सीखने की, तो आप वो घर बैठ के भी कर ही लोगे.
Very true. अच्छा, by the way, हम लोग बातें तो करेंगे. क्या आप स्टूडेंट्स को कुछ सुनाना या कुछ आपका इंस्पिरेशनल फिंगर पर सुनाएंगे?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, मैं सुनाता हूँ. अभी यहाँ पे there is one question I would like to respond to that. How can DJ Bobby K, he has written a question, and he's asking how can one learn how to compose music after learning. I think what he means is after having learned music for a few years, how to compose. See, the thing is, DJ Bobby, the thing is that once you learn music for maybe 3 years, 4 years, you start getting musical maturity. You develop in your musicianship skills, which include your ear training. Then the coordination of ear and hands and the brain. The moment you listen to a certain bass line or certain chord, you should already be able to identify. These are the parts that you learn while learning music. Learning piano, learning guitar. You learn the technique of how to play that instrument. You learn different songs or the repertoire that is meant or that is written for that music, for that instrument. Sorry. Now, when it comes to composing, it is I would say, it is a distilled process which happens after learning music. Of course, there are exceptions. There are great composers who have not learned music in their lives. And I'm not saying that the only way to compose is by learning music. You may not learn music for the entire life, and you can still be a prolific composer. And there are many examples all around the globe. But if you have learned music already, then you can be technically more faster, I would say. I would never use the word superior because that's very subjective. But you can be technically more faster and advanced in how you write music, or how you use the softwares, or different applications, or how you use different harmonies. For example, if you have learned music, for example, I'm learning in Paris right now. I'm studying in Bill Evans Piano Academy. So what I study is jazz harmony, and I've studied Brazilian music, and I'm studying with some of the great professors and pianists who come from different parts of the world. And I get to study not only the music, but also their language. I get to see how their personality reflects in their music. And every time we meet, it rubs off on me. My composition professor, his name is Joe McCall. In Paris, I'm studying with him in the school. And when I learn from him, he teaches me a certain method that he has devised to teach compositions. It's wonderful. It's excellent. But when we compose, even in the class or for the concerts, we do not always use the techniques or the formulas given. We use them as a stepping stone to eventually make what we want to make, what we want to create. And that creation comes from a certain inspiration that you can find with or without learning. You can find within yourself or without. You can find it in a painting, you can find it in the conversations you have with people, you can find it in a film that you've seen, or clothes, or flowers, gardens, sky, anything. You can find inspiration from whatever it is.
Wow.
So the idea is that to really compose, what I think you need to first do is find what's your calling, find the inspiration, where it is, and what is it that really inspires you the most. Why do you want to write music? what do you want to address, what are your, don't even think of audiences, don't say that I'm going to write it for the Indian audience or the Western audience, because this is the place where a lot of people are, they lose. So just write what you want. The knowledge of music that you have will come to you. Of course, there are many professional courses for composition. You can apply to different. You can learn from teachers. There are a lot of teachers in Bombay. You can learn online, or you can apply to some different schools. They give online lessons. You can do everything, but eventually, I think you need to find inspiration. I hope that addresses your question.
Very fantastic. बहुत अच्छा मतलब ये है कि मुझे भी इस सेशन को repeatedly देखना पड़ेगा, because you are into a system since a long time.
So
you speak the terminology. तो आपके जहन में, आपके स्वभाव में वो सब philosophy of music and the psychology behind music is there within you. So मैं भी इसको सुनते रहूँगा बार-बार YouTube पे.
बिल्कुल.
I will be transferring it tonight only.
Okay.
इसको YouTube पे ट्रांसफर करके, क्योंकि वो रिवाइंड करना आसान हो जाता है YouTube.
हाँ, correct.
So by the way, you can say about your websites and your क्योंकि आपका YouTube पेज को शाउट आउट करने की जरूरत है. तो लोगों को पता नहीं है, तो हम उसको, मैंने अपने तो उसमें डाल दिया वीडियो. So because इतना अच्छा, इतना प्योर साउंड बजाया आपने, मतलब एक तो वो इसके साथ और ड्रम के साथ जो 2-3 वीडियोस मैंने आपके देखे, एंड दैट रियली, और उसको मैंने अपने जनरल में सुना, तब मुझे जाके एकदम संतुष्टि हो गई. बिकॉज़ वो छोटे स्पीकर पे मजा नहीं आता है.
करेक्ट.
तो मैंने या तो हेडफोन पे सुनना है या अच्छे स्पीकर्स में सुने, तो दैट रियली वंडरफुल. एंड यहाँ पे मैं आपको एक अनुभव शेयर करूंगा कि मुझे जब मेरा बेटा जी में था, सारेगामा में, तो उन्होंने बताया कि एक एपिसोड आपके पियानो पे हम करते हैं कि आप पियानो बजाएंगे. तो मैंने मना किया उनको कि मैं एक मोनोफोनिक सोलोइस्ट हूँ, who is dedicated to Indian classical and harmony of Indian classical, Indian style of music, not even Indian classical. तो अब ये पर्टिकुलर वो डायरेक्टर थे, तो वो बोलते अरे आप तो पियानो बजा सकते हो ना, कीबोर्ड बजाते हो. करेक्ट. तो मैंने कहा बाइंग पियानो इज नॉट, you are a pianist, I'm not a pianist, I can't say myself a pianist because I need to follow a culture. और उसके लिए मुझे बहुत सारा टाइम डेडिकेट करना पड़ेगा. हमने पूरी जिंदगी भर वायलिन पार्ट्स बजाए, ट्रम्पेट पार्ट्स बजाए, फ्लूट जैसा साउंड, ट्रम्पेट जैसा साउंड, पंचमदा का ट्रम्पेट, प्यारे भाई का वायलिन, ये सब बजाए. So I can't claim myself. So it's not about getting into debates, but I want to get the thinking from you where आप playing और जो आप अभी बजाएंगे, उससे लोगों को मैं बताना चाहता हूँ कि playing piano music needs a dedication, and उसके बाद आप पियानो बाय कर लिया, करेक्ट, तो आप पियानिस्ट नहीं हो, because you bought a piano or you hired a piano on stage. And I'm not putting anybody down, but स्वाभाविक है कि हमें वो बात पता नहीं है. आपने आज, पहले तो मुझे आप अपना ये अनुभव शेयर कीजिए, मेरा निजी सवाल है कि हाउ कुड यू मैनेज, क्योंकि आई नो योर डैड सिंस लॉन्ग. यस, इवन दो वी आर नॉट परफॉर्म टुगेदर वेरी ऑफन, बट आपने हाउ डिड यू प्लान योर एजुकेशन एंड योर टेक, मुझे जानना है.
ओके, सी ऐसा था कि बचपन में बहुत छोटा था मैं, एंड डैड वो तभी कैसियो SA25 ऐसी कुछ सीरीज होती थी, ऐसे सीरीज छोटी सी, बहुत छोटा, तो वो डैड पहले, छोटी कीज वाला, करेक्ट, बहुत पहले ले आए थे, डैड लेके आए थे घर पे. एंड आई यूज्ड टू प्ले इससे घर पे, मतलब वो उसमें ज्यादा क्या वो ड्रम्स के साउंड होते थे या वो स्नेयर का साउंड होता था. बहुत छोटा था मैं.
I can't believe अभी जिस तरह का तुम्हारा स्टेटस है, तुम ऐसे 20 पे कैसे लगते होगे, मैं विजुअलाइज करूँ. Oh my God.
But it was a great start. That's how I started. So on a really tiny key I started playing, and then after a few years जो मैंने लेसन स्टार्ट किए, my first teacher I ever learned music was with Mrs. Naila Masood. She stays in Lokhandwala only, वही पे, and मेरा first lesson was with her. Actually ये कैसा हुआ था कि Mrs. Evelyn Acharya, whom I learnt with for around 16 years roughly.
Okay.
She used to live in Andheri, लोखंडवाला. तो मेरे डैड मुझे उनके पास लेके गए थे तभी, एंड उन्होंने बताया कि इनको मतलब एनरोल कराना है आपके पास पियानो के लिए. बट एट दैट टाइम शी वाज मूविंग टू दिल्ली फॉर फ्यू इयर्स. तो उन्होंने सजेस्ट किया कि अभी तो मैं नहीं हूँ, बट वंस आई कम बैक मे बी वी कैन सी. एंड शी वाज ट्रैवलिंग दिल्ली बैंगलोर में उनके समथिंग, सो शी हैड टू गो. आई डोंट नो, आई वाज टू स्मॉल. एंड देन आफ्टर दैट उन्होंने मुझे रेकमेंड किया मिसेस नाइला मसूद जो है टीचर है उनके पास जाने के लिए. सो आई लर्न विद हर फॉर फ्यू इयर्स. एंड देन बीच में एक छोटा सा ब्रेक हो गया था, सब आई डोंट नो फॉर सम रीजन, 1-2 साल का. एंड देन आई रीस्टार्टेड म्यूजिक. एंड देन आई केम टू अ सर्टेन लेवल वेयर उन्होंने सजेस्ट किया, यू नो, माय टीचर मिसेस नाइला मसूद, शी सजेस्टेड दैट यू कंटिन्यू विद एवलिन मैम. So I went back to her, तभी वो वापस बॉम्बे आ गई थी. And that's it, that was a kickstart to my music education. I studied for a long time, 14-15, roughly more than that probably years. I did a lot of classical music training with her, a lot of different playing, you know, technique and repertoire. I studied the philosophies behind certain compositions, why to play some things. I mean, it's not just, you know, music is not just about notes. It's the reason why those notes are written, you know. I mean, you can play a C major chord, but if the player doesn't understand the reason why a composer wrote a C major chord, then that C major chord will just sound as bad as playing G or F there, you know. It doesn't matter. So it's not just the notes, it's why those notes were written, why were the dynamics written, articulation, everything. So ये सब जो चीज़ है वो मैंने काफ़ी उनके साथ काफ़ी सीखी, because she was a very very good teacher, fantastic teacher. Then she retired, so then she asked me to learn with Mrs. Roshan Chawna, जो वहाँ पे रहती है Grant Road में. And I studied with her for 5 years roughly. I was studying with her before coming to Paris. And with her I did lot of advanced works. मतलब जिसको डिप्लोमा लेवल पे कहते हैं लोग म्यूजिक, you know. But I never gave any exams. I never gave any exams with her. I always told her I want to study and I really want to play a lot, because I mean, exams तो मैं दे देता तभी. On any time you enroll me, I would always have 10-15 pieces ready for, you know, classical pieces ready at disposal. I could play at any time. So I could have.
Certificate orientation नहीं था आपका? नहीं
था मेरा, because I have done all these exams that you see. I had done them, and then I didn't feel like, you know, putting myself through so many examinations. I just wanted to play. See, आप जब पियानो पे बैठते हो ना, आप किसी को पेपर नहीं बताते, आप बजा के बताते हो, and that is what counts. तो
सही बात है. So जब आप परफॉर्म करते तो लोग आपका पेपर नहीं देख रहे, लोग आपको सुनते हैं. और वो अगर आप अच्छा बजाओ तो उसके बाद कोई पूछने भी नहीं आता आपने कितना पढ़ा है कितना नहीं पढ़ा है. You know, they don't need any proof. And so I did not want to do, you know, music and exams and all. But then I also studied that time. I wanted to really learn. मैं थोड़ा Indian classical सीखना चाहता था. So very little. I just, like, you know, very basic. अनुराग शर्मा करके एक बहुत अच्छे सिंगर है, दिल्ली में रहते हैं. And I learned with him I took few lessons. मतलब ऐसा इतना भी ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ा हूँ मैं Indian classical, but I learned few lessons. मतलब I know basic structure and कैसे follow करे, and, you know, I know some few things, good things I know. And then at the same time I was mentored थोड़ा on composition, not arrangement. So अपने जो बहुत बड़े arranger थे अनिल मोबिले, and अरे क्या बात.
So I was very privileged, I would say, that, you know, he shared some of his knowledge with me, and because I don't know what he saw in me, what it was, but I have no idea. And वो हमारे घर के सामने की तरफ ही रहते थे, उनका विंडो हुआ करता था, तो काफ़ी बार मैं पियानो बजाता था, तो he could probably hear me. And so I was very privileged to have some lessons from him also on arrangement. And then I learned jazz with Mrs. Benny De Silva, Four Bungalows में रहते हैं, काफ़ी famous है, काफ़ी लोगों को पता भी है, I'm sure, even in the followers that we have. He is quite popular. Yeah, go ahead, let's go. So he's quite popular. So I studied jazz with him for a while, jazz and theory of writing and everything. And then eventually I had to take a call, you know, I had to really take a call whether to study classical or jazz, you know. I had to really choose, because I could not do bass.
You asked her.
No, I had to take a choice for myself. As final आगे, yeah. But because at the same time for 7-8 years, जब मैं बॉम्बे में था, for 7 to 8 years I was also doing a lot of work alongside. I was composing and producing music for television commercials, films, independent films, and I've done a lot of advertisement commercials.
मैंने आपका वो मूवी देखा अपना जो एक मैसेज देता है कम्युनल उस दिन मैंने देखा एंड उसका एंड का म्यूजिक बहुत अच्छा है. I mean वो जो पियानो एक पीस बनाया था आपने, that's really amazing and that the subject was really बहुत अच्छा. It's a wonderful piece. और मैंने उसका ये आपका नाम उसमें से ही निकाला है उसके टाइटल.
हाँ मैंने वो पिक्चर. Thank you so much. Yes, I saw that. Yes. So then I was working anyway, and वहाँ पे जुहू में there is a institute, theme piano world. They have a piano school, and I was working with them for 7-8 years. And in fact, that was one of the places where I networked a lot. I made a lot of contacts. I mean that I really grew in the professional world over there, theme piano mein. And I met a lot of fantastic people there who became a part of my musical life and my journey. And I could, they were so nice. वहाँ पे institute में they used to let me play whenever I want at whatever time I want. I used to have pianos at my disposal, so I could practice a lot. I could grow basically. I evolved over there, and basically, and I really evolved in all that. And then I had to make a choice. So in 2014, I decided I want to learn jazz, and then I found this school, and I came back here. I came to Paris, not back. Sorry, I came to Paris. Yeah, this is a school I found, and that's it. So since then, I'm here. It's been 3-4 years. I've been studying jazz, and I still want to study further.
मैं आपको interrupt करूँगा. Before we going to some other, would you mind playing something for us?
Sure. Yeah, I would play something. In fact, I was looking at this. I would rather play in also a way that I can respond to the questions that way.
Yes. वो भी मैंने देखा, कुछ questions देखे.
Correct.
And then we again come back to questions.
Sure. Yeah. So there is this student. His name is Bridge Pathak, and he has asked a nice question. This is a very common question. A lot of people ask, what is the difference between jazz and blues? So I'm just going to keep you on the piano notation stands. Okay, so you won't be able to see that for a while.
Fine.
Okay. To you, I'm going to answer your question, Bridge. See, the basic difference between blues and jazz is that blues has a structure. Okay, it's a well-defined structure. To give you to tell you in simple words. Of course, there are many. Again, in blues, if you look at it, there are 8-bar blues also. Some of them are 8-bar blues. There are 12-bar blues, or there is blues inside a jazz piece. But blues itself, as an identity, it is a structure of 12 bars. And there is a very, very basic rule to blues. If you want, you all can write it down. I can tell you. So the first 4 bars of blues, to be very simple, will be chord 1. So let's take, if you're taking C as blues, so you have C7th as your, that's going to be your chord 1, okay, for the 4 bars. Then the next line, that's the next 4 chords. Bar 5 and 6 is going to be chord 4. So it's going to be, that'll be F7, and then 7 and 8, 7 and 8, bar 7 and 8, we're going to go back to chord 1-7. Okay, so if I just play this much, these 8 bars, it's going to sound 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and bar 5 F7 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 back to chord 1. Now, this is the first part of blues. then the next line is all the time different. So here we're going to use a simple progression of 5-4-1-1. So you're going to have G7, F7, going to C7. So the last line would sound like this: 1, a 2, a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So now I'm just going to give you in detail. I'm going to improvise a little bit on this, and then I'm going to tell you what is jazz, so you understand the difference. So I'm going to improvise on this entire structure. The first, in the beginning, I'm just going to play the 12 bars, just the chords. Then I'm going to improvise a little with my right hand. Okay. I hope you all know what's improvisation. If no, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play in those chords, in those given keys at that point. I'm going to play something with my right hand while I keep playing the chords in the left. That's the basic idea of improvisation. So 1, a 2, a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 2. Improvisation. For example, it's a very basic improvisation I played with those chords, but it's gonna always follow the same 12 bars. Now, there are many rules. Once you start studying, you build on this. But the basic idea of chord 1, 4, 1 again, this makes the blues. Okay. Now jazz, just to give you a basic idea of jazz. Jazz also has a form, but it is not as fixed as blues. It can be a free form, For example, generally it is most of the jazz standards, common standards are 32 bars. AABA 32. That's the form. So, for example, I have a song. I have a few jazz standards here. I don't know if you all know. I'm gonna try. Anyway, I'm gonna try to play a small standard which probably everybody knows, and give you an idea. So there is a song called "Fly Me to the Moon," and just to give you a basic idea how jazz works, you don't have to follow the same rules for chords as blues. So for example, your chords will be, it's in a key of A minor. So we have A minor 7, D. It's going in a circle of fourth. So A, D, G, C, and the system. So it's A, D, G, C, F, B diminished, E, A. Now, if you play the tune, it's now this was like a small part of the jazz standard. Now, the idea with jazz is that you need not follow that 1-1-1-1, 4-4-1-1. Now, if I want to use this as a point of departure for my improvisation, I could use the same structure, So, if one can sing, fly me to the moon, now let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. I could do anything, or I could improvise using this chord structure. Then you come back to the song. So that is the basic difference between jazz and blues, and there are many tunes. Once you start learning jazz, you understand where jazz has got a big structure and there are blues inside it. So I hope I've been able to explain, answer your question rather properly. And there's also another student saying, KU Suhas Kulkarni, he says jazz is confusing, especially for Bollywood musicians. So he, I know. So I want to ask, I want to ask where to start, what to listen, and what to practice. Okay, that's really a good question, KU. See, I'll tell you my journey, how I came to jazz, and I think that can help you. Okay, you have to culturally open your ears first to all forms of music. Okay, jazz is hard, but not all jazz is hard. There's a saying that jazz is made for the intellectuals. Okay, so jazz is supposed to be complicated, but not all. There are so many jazz, like what I played right now. If you know the circle of fourth, you can play this song without even having any problem. Circle of fourth is some basic concept taught at a grade 2 or grade 3 level of music. You know, it's very simple. So if you know some basic things about chords, chord progressions, or piano voicings, you can play jazz or appreciate jazz. I would not say that it's hard for Bollywood musicians, but because there are some pianists who really play well in India. There are some fabulous pianists who play jazz and Bollywood music both, and so it's not true that it's hard. For some people, it's an acquired taste. See, it's like, you know, I don't know, up me say how many of y'all try different food, or you go out and travel, and you know, you come to France and you taste a glass of wine. Some people won't like it, but then it's an acquired taste. For some people, it's just not their cup of tea, so you have to let it go. But to appreciate it, it's not hard. You know, maybe tomorrow if you go to some place and they make a certain kind of music which is very complicated or too rhythmic. If you go to Africa, there are amazing rhythms. But if you break it down to the structure, it is always simple to understand. So for me, if you don't understand something, I think you have to first break it down to the finest possible divisions that are easy to understand or perceive humanly at your level, whatever level of study you are. It's easy for you to absorb. Also, I think you need to listen to world music. You need to listen to a lot of music. I started listening to a lot of Middle Eastern music because it really inspires me. It's very close to our culture in a way. And I started listening to a lot of artists from. I saw a movie called Lachodrome. I don't know if you all know about it. Google it. It's a great film, Lachodrome. And it's a film about how the nomadic tribes from Rajasthan, and it's a journey, you know, basically of the gypsy music and how it originated from the western part of our country and the nearby areas, and how it traveled, the kind of music it influenced, it kept traveling to eventually it reached to south of France and north of Spain, and that's where we had the flamenco and all that. So I saw this movie and I got really inspired, and I started to listening to a lot of music from Pakistan, Afghanistan, and these regions, a little bit on the north also, some Kazakhstan, and all the artists in this part of the world. Then I went a little bit to the west, and I heard a lot of Iranian music, Turkish music, and I became a big fan of Greek music. And as you progress, you understand the evolution of music. And when I say listen to the artist, I don't mean go to YouTube and put the best song of 2017. No, I really want you to listen. Yeah, that's what people do, And I really want you to go to the roots, go to Wikipedia, download books on them, on the classical music that they had, see what are the trends, what matches with our, because see, nobody can take the Indian out of us. हम कहाँ भी जाके रहे, we'll always be Indian, because I've lived in Bombay for 27 years of my life, 26 years, so I cannot take out the Indianness. So what you have to do is you have to try and listen to different music, relate it to our music, and then find common grounds, and then see what is different. What is different you appreciate. What is common you'll always retain very easily. And then you start listening to some artists like Scott Joplin, which is ragtime. You'll start listening to some other artists like Bud Powell, or you start listening to blues, or you can listen to Ray Charles Robinson. He was one of the pioneers of gospel on piano, and you can listen to a lot of great artists. If you want, what I can do is I can make a post on after the video, I can make a post with a lot of artists chronologically, that you all can listen to. And I think, yeah, we'll do that. And that way you all can benefit out of it. Listen to the music, listen to the rich content all over the world. And jazz is not so difficult to understand. I mean, maybe it's difficult to play or something, but it's really, I wouldn't even say it's difficult to play, honestly. If you believe me, jazz is really easy. If you know the basic math, if you have the basic ability to focus and play the piano, you can play jazz. It's not rocket science. So yeah, we'll do that, and I really hope it answers your question.
Okay. Trinity or ABRSM, which one is good? That is the question.
Okay. I'll give you a detailed answer on this. The thing with Trinity and ABRSM, there is LCM, there is Rock School, and I think these are the ones which are in India at the moment. There is a framework called as OFQUAL, I think, OFQUAL, and it was earlier QCF, which was Curriculum Qualification Curriculum Framework, sorry. And there is also another system called NQF, which is National Qualification Framework. Now these systems, NQF is for the UK, EQF, which is European Qualification Framework, is obviously, as the name suggests, is for Europe. What these systems do are that they give qualifications, they give points, UCAS points, credit points, based on the examinations that you have done. So let's say that the student has done grade 8. So on the certificate you will be given some points, maybe 95 points, 85 points, and these points are convertible. So when you go and study in the universities, these points help you to study those subjects.
Okay.
All boards.
But it is counted
in the future. And that is one of the reasons also having a certificate helps. But then, like I said, you shouldn't focus on all the levels. Do one, then skip few years, then do the, then you can do that. Anyway, that's another topic. So all the boards, they are at the same level. They are accredited by the same authority. I know there is a notion in India that ABRSM is harder or more difficult to clear or to succeed than Trinity or LCM or ABRSM. I personally don't believe that, because if there was this differentiation, if there was this biased approach towards examinations, then they wouldn't have been accredited so equally, by the authorities. And we are not talking about some one country authorization. These boards, they run parallelly across the globe. So if you're doing grade 8 in India, that means you're a grade 8 all over the world. It's not like आपने आज इंडिया में 5th standard किया तो आपको कहीं और जाके वापस 5th या 3rd से चालू करना पड़ेगा. It's not that. In music you are at par. So it's not really Trinity is better. But of course, if you're doing certain subjects which are not offered by the board you prefer, then you might want to choose other board. For example, there is one subject which is very special. I like it. It's called musicianship, and it is offered only by ABRSM. So obviously for that you really have to do ABRSM examinations. You can't find that in Trinity. For jazz examinations, you have LCM. They offer jazz exams, and that's it. For jazz, you have to do them. Those ABRSM offers till grade 5 jazz, I suppose, but then after that till diploma levels, it's only London College of Music. So it's not really which board is better than the other. It's your choice, and it's the repertoire that you like. If you like some things, you do that.
Okay. Can you see any other technical questions there? Because my comments are not.
There is also KU who has also asked, need more information from you about jazz improvisation. KU, we could discuss that. In fact, jazz improvisation, I'll be very happy to discuss that in some other session, when we do it, probably, because we'll probably have one session just for that, where I can talk about it for those who are interested. But in general, jazz improvisation is making spontaneously your own melodies over a given chord progression. Like I did earlier, you play A minor and D minor, and you make spontaneously, you make your melodies. There is years and years of learning, but like I said, a lot of people say that, oh come on, it takes a lifetime to do X, or if it takes a lifetime to do Y. It's not really true, because if it took a lifetime, then we wouldn't have musicians in the world. Everybody would come to that level.
संगीत तो समंदर है, ऐसा कहते हैं. संगीत तो समंदर है भाई.
संगीत समंदर है.
2 बाल्टी घर पे लेके जाते हैं.
If you learn, then you can get it. It's not a rocket science, honestly. But you need dedication, perseverance, and diligence. If you have these 3 qualities, then you can do it. You can really do it. Okay.
Wow. यानी हिंदी में अगर कहे तो आपको करते रहना है. जैसे बाबा रामदेव कहता है, करते रहिए.
छोड़ना नहीं. Exactly. You can't leave. Yeah.
Okay. जैसे NLP में कहते हैं, do things over and over again.
There is a theory behind it. I think you since you have studied NLP, you might be knowing it. If you repeat anything for 21 days, it becomes a habit. And I think that's what you have to do. 21 days, you have to sit on the piano and take an improvisation book. Or you can ask me if you want some books, I can help you with the names. And you have to take a book, keep following it for 21 days. 22nd day, it will be your habit.
Wow.
But
great formula.
I mean, that's to... that's to resolve basically the problem with procrastination and laziness. It becomes your habit.
Yeah.
There is a small question which is recently put here.
Yeah.
Bridge Pathak is asking, digital piano is a substitute for acoustic piano. Some can't afford acoustic piano. What are your suggestions for those people? See, if you look at my piano at the moment, it's a digital piano. Okay. So digital piano, of course, was made as a substitute for people who do not have enough space in their house, and so it's not like if you can't afford, then you need to buy a cheaper acoustic. I would never recommend that. Instead of buying a cheaper acoustic piano, you should always go for a good quality digital piano, because the piano, the sound, the touch, the tone, the responsiveness of keys, the processing of sound. For example, in India, I have a Kawai upright piano. I have a Roland keyboard. Of course, it solves another purpose. Of course, for stage shows and all. Then I had an emulator keyboard, EMU4. I don't know how many people. It's an old company, EMU. Here in Paris, I have a Nord. I play on Nord sometimes. And in my house here, right now I'm sitting on Yamaha. But in my school, we have got 2 Yamaha uprights, 1 Kawai upright, and there's 1 Yang Chang piano. So basically, there is Steinway & Sons also. So there are different brands all over the world. They make incredible pianos, digital and acoustic alike. If you have time, if you have space and money, you should go for a good quality grand piano. Then, if that doesn't fit in your parameters, go for an acoustic upright. If that doesn't fit in your parameters, or if you want a piano to practice in the night, especially, let's say, आप पूरा दिन काम कर रहे हो, आपको practice करनी है, then forget about those two. Just go for a very good quality digital piano, and it is going to be as good for your practice as any other upright. Because you also, as a musician, you need to be able to play on other instruments. You need to be able to. For example, you go to a bar tomorrow and there's a piano, and you want to jam with the musicians. Of course, India mein the jam culture and all, it's not yet so developed, but it's not far away. I can see a lot of, there's a Bandra bass, there's Andheri bass, it's coming up, and a lot of people are going and playing in jams in Bombay, in Lokhandwala, not Lokhandwala, sorry, in Bombay. And in Delhi, there are a lot of places where there are jams happening. Pune, there is Shisha, they have jazz concerts regularly. I know some of the places because I've got some friends who play regularly. If you have to go there, you're not going to carry a piano. You'll already have a piano there. So if you have to play, you're going to go and play on that piano. So to be able to play on any instrument at any given point of time, you need to be open to playing on acoustic upright or grand or digital or a keyboard, And yeah, I think, so you don't have to, you can't really say what is better. It depends on your preference and your need at that point of time.
Okay. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
That because of it studying a lot.
Uh-huh.
So various music and how it is related to the human brain, psychology, thinking, and culture.
Uh-huh.
Like we have Bhangra, or we have Dandiya, Garba, or we have Rajasthani music. We have various music like folk, Bengali folk,
Mm-hmm.
and similarly various zones like symphony or jazz or Latin or so. Did you personally observe anything that is yeah, because of this culture, this is or whatever? The psychological, philosophical, or socio-psychological aspects of music
Okay.
and variations.
Okay. Okay. Um, it is. It goes without saying that music is the most important part of human culture. Wherever you go,
Wow.
we cannot exist without music. I mean, you know, even to a point where we listen to a bird chirping, it is music. You listen to the clouds thundering, it's music. You know, everything is music. The wind howling, it's music. Even when we are talking. Everybody has a certain rhythm. And आप जो एक स्पीड में आप जो एक लय में बात करोगे, वो एक स्पेशलिटी हो गया. मैं जो स्पीड में बात कर रहा हूँ, it's my speciality, my intonation, my accent. We all have.
By the way, you are sounding like Sonu Nigam.
Really?
Very close to Sonu Nigam's voice.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I really like him. I'm a big fan of his voice and a lot of the songs. So we all have music in us, and we have our specific body rhythm. Now, what happens is, when we talk about the social or rather the cultural influence, vice versa, music's influence on culture and culture's influence on music. We are living in a society today which is not only vertically expanded but horizontally expanded. Now, what I mean by that is, people coming from different backgrounds of work, people are coming from different parts of the society. People are coming from, if I talk about the vertical classification, I mean, there are a lot of sociologists that, I'm sure you must have read a lot of them. We have a lot of layers in the society, many layers. Now, when I say this, I do not mean to differentiate, or I do not mean to be against any part, but this is just the sociological aspect. So that's the reason I'm talking like this. We have divisions in the society based on lifestyle of people. Now, for example, there are some people who have enormous amount of heritage or money and all. They live in a certain lifestyle. While contrasting to that, there are other people who are really poor, and their source of income is is not so great, and they're doing well, but not so great. So their lifestyle is going to be different. The environment we live in, that is different. Now, when we say this does not necessarily mean that they all do not have equal resources, because in today's world, everyone has phone, we have YouTube, we have access to Google, we have access to internet, we have access to everything. Even if you're rich, not so rich, doesn't matter. You have access to all the material in the world. Okay. What has happened now is that this was a vertical expansion of society, and now because of spread of communication, the social media, also the development of transport and logistics, world has become smaller. People are getting information from different parts of the world at an instant. Everyone is able to see whatever is happening in different parts, musically, culturally, news spreads like wildfire. What has happened is it has expanded horizontally. What I mean is the ideas from west or the middle or far west or far east, if there is some new thing happening, it goes via YouTube and Facebook like a wildfire. It spreads. What, according to me, I feel is that now, musically, every part of the world, they have preserved their own heritage, which is necessary. Every country, every community, every state, every part, globally, we all have our roots and we have to preserve them. But apart from those which are strongly cultural, very strongly, for example, if you look at Maharashtrian dances, we have Launi, or North Indian is Bhangra bataya. South may we have other dances, East, West. If you go to South America, there are other dances, like we have ballroom dancing, salsa and cha-cha and all these. There are Latin dances and all. Then there are waltz, which are considered to be bourgeoisie, and the royal dances like waltz and tango, those rich dances. So at that time, the music was divided on the vertical expansion of society, but now it's all horizontal, and music is crossed over so much that it is hard, extremely hard for most of the people to differentiate the cultural aspect of an individual from where the music is coming. For example, for example, and the major reason for this today is also because a lot of the music that we hear, especially I would really specially talk about India, because it really concerns, it's our motherland, and the artists, we have enormous talent, in our country. But I feel sad, I really feel terrified when I see that the new composers who are coming up, or the new musicians who are coming up, they are slave to these technologies. They do not want to progress in music just because knowing that having a computer and composing music from whatever is available will get them bread and butter, So what has happened is, over a period of time, the quality of the creation of certain music in India has deteriorated.
Very true.
And if you look at the West, on the other hand, they do technological use. I mean, in West they have so many advanced technologies. They do that. They do everything. But they believe in creation, first-hand creation of music, and then they apply technology wherever they can enhance it. But the music is not made based on technology, and that's the major difference. And that's, I think, this is one of the I think Bhavesh, good to see you. The thing is, I think if the musicians and the creators of music in our country, if they understand this basic concept, that our culture is so strong, we have so many traditions, we have so much of folk music from different parts of our country. You go to Far East, you go to Assam, Mizoram, you have amazing traditional music. It's beautiful. You go to North, we have great music from Kashmir and from Punjab, and we have so much tradition from Bihar. You go to South, East, from Kerala and Karnataka, from Maharashtra, Gujarat, all the states. They all have different zones where there is different music from different parts of the communities and societies, depending on the language. It's incredible. We have abundance of resources, just that we need to really learn music before falling prey to the technology as our point of departure to create music. अगर कल कोई student music छोड़ देता है सीखना, and he buys a new computer and he sits and he decides to make music, what's going to happen is he will make music, no doubt, but he will make music from what is available on the software. And what is available on the software is not infinity. It is coming to an end, right? Everybody is using, आज Logic Pro सबके पास है दुनिया में. Everybody is using the same sound and same loops, with some variations. If you want to sound different, then the infinity is here. You have to use this to create, And I think I would really, in fact, all the followers who are watching or who are going to watch this later, if they're really interested in pushing themselves to the forefront of the music society, to the professional or even semi-professional, whatever they want to do with music, be original. And to be original, learn music. Learn it in the best possible way you can. Give it your 100%, and you will reap the benefits out of it. Your creations will stand apart from anyone you've heard, because your originality will find a vent to be expressed. You know.
Wow. One small question,
Yeah.
and then there will be one big question.
Okay. All right.
432 or 528? Which is what is the controversy and what is the story?
528 or 432 and 440 you mean? Or 528 is it? 432, 440, okay.
Yeah, so I've read a lot about the controversy and see chakra alignments and chakra balances. So some people are focusing on 432, some people are 528, and finally we are ending up in 440.
All the time in 440.
So it's a big confusion.
Okay. For me, honestly,
yeah,
I have not experimented a lot with these two frequencies. But, I mean, I don't know about 528 so much, honestly, because I know it's they call it some DNA repair or something like that. I have not got so much of idea, honestly, so I'm not the right person to comment on it. But 440 and 432, I can tell you my personal experience. I mean, maybe each one has their own. I had a piano, a digital piano, which allowed me to change frequency of A. So I for a long time, for a few months, I was playing on A432. I was practicing on A432. It was here in Paris. I had a piano. I don't remember which one, but I had the option of changing, and I was changing it and I was playing it. Also, what I did was I was listening to a lot of 432 music, and I was being very purist about it. It was during my vacation, and in that vacation, I said to myself, if I practice piano, I'm going to practice on 432 only. And if I'm going to listen to music, I'm going to reduce it down to 432 on Logic, and then I'm going to listen to, just to experiment, And I did it. And I can tell you this, that there is something different about 432. It sounds enchanting. It sounds soft. It sounds something sweet and calling to the ears. The moment I switched to 440, it was sharp. It was magical, but it was forceful. It was pushing. Now, I mean, that's my experience. I mean, if you ask me what is my preference, I really would not have a preference, because in today's world you cannot.
Anyway, we have to. हम तो मिठाई वाले हैं, हमको 440 में ही रहना पड़ेगा.
जैसे नहीं कर सकते. अब मैं किधर बाहर जाऊंगा प्ले करने, I can't ask everyone to tune to 432, even if I like it. So yeah, but.
And suddenly some musician will come with new instrument that is in 440, and it will be a huge clash.
Oh yeah.
Another question I had was, do you have any specific question there which you want to answer in the comments?
No, I think no. We have there is one. Rajesh Teli, what's your source of inspiration? Rajesh, I already answered that. You can just rewind the video if you haven't heard. Yeah, I think we have answered all what was written. Yeah.
Okay, so I would request you to have one more session. अभी मैं आपको एक last सवाल पूछूंगा.
Okay.
And and I think if you are free and if you want to give us time, then we can also maybe next week or the other week. And I will also ask, and I will also check my personal messages, because after each session I get messages from people.
Okay.
But we all are very satisfied with the way you explain, because you have been seeing various universities. तो आपको zoom in and zoom out दोनों पर्सपेक्टिव पता है कि इंस्टीट्यूट के अंदर क्या होता है, उससे दूर होके क्या हम देख सकते हैं. So आपको गूगल अर्थ जैसा हो गया आपका.
Thank you.
Yeah, how you rate rate or how you take or what is your perception about music, specifically the material success and the advantage of being a musician. जैसे अभी मैं तो शेयर बाजार में हूँ, मैं गुजराती आदमी, अगर मैं बड़ा होके शेयर बाजार में जाता था या एस्टेट में जाता था, I would have more money and more material stuff. पर आज अगर मैं किसी को, यानी एक म्यूजिशियन में एक ड्वेट बना रहता है, ड्युअलिज्म बना रहता है. और हमारे यहाँ अपने देश में, जैसे मैं दूसरे देश का तो पता नहीं है, लेकिन जिनके पास बड़ी गाड़ी है, जिनके पास बड़े पैसे हैं या जो बड़े पैसे बनाते हैं, उसको बड़ा देखा जाता है और वो छोटों को डोमिनेट भी कर लेते कई केसेस में. आई बी क्रिटिक ऑन दिस इशू. मेरा है पर्पस वो नहीं कि मैं किसी को एलिमिनेट करूं, बट आई सी मैनी. देखो जैसे हम अब्रॉड जाते हैं तो हमारे साथ मैकडॉनल्ड्स में या कोई रेस्टोरेंट में एक कोई मजदूरी करने वाला आदमी भी उतनी ही रिस्पेक्ट के साथ बैठ के काम करता है.
करेक्ट. तो
वैसा ही हमारे इसमें म्यूजिक में है.
हाँ
कि हाँ, मतलब लोग ऐसा बोलते थे कि अरे आप तो पल्लव पंड्या है फॉर एग्जाम्पल, तो वही आप तो and I want to be with them, I want to judge with them, or I want to interact with them like a human.
Right.
But that human superhuman या तो बड़े वाला है वो छोटे वाले को एलिनेट करता है या उसकी मानहानि करता है. So one of the reason is material. कि भाई एक आदमी बड़ी मर्सिडीज लेके निकल जाए और शायद वो करे या ना करे, छोटा वाला अपने आप में इंफीरियर हो जाता है, चाहे वो बजाने में कितना भी अच्छा हो, मे बी फाइनेंशियली उसको उतना सक्सेस ना मिला हो, उस इंस्ट्रूमेंट की डिमांड ना हो, उस म्यूजिक की डिमांड ना हो जिसमें वो मास्टर हो, तो ऑब्वियसली उसके पास पैसे नहीं होंगे. और एक आदमी सब क्लासेस चलाता है जो बहुत सारे लोगों को सिखा के मे बी बहुत सारे पैसे कमा लिए उसने, या प्रोग्रामिंग करके या लॉजिक या इस तरह के नए नए साधन आते जाएंगे. तो हाँ, तो इसके बारे में what are your thoughts and what you can suggest to rich musician and poor musician financially, not musically?
Okay. It's a long question and I'll break it into few parts. No, I'll answer it. मैं इसको parts में answer करता हूँ. The first thing you asked me about, जैसे about McDonald's वाली बात बताई थी आपने. If you're sitting in McDonald's and it could be anyone sitting next to us and we'll be very open to talk to anyone and all. See, there is one thing which I see is very common in all the countries here. There is dignity of labor. It's in the cultural aspect of society. India maybe there is dignity of labor. I'm not saying no, but somewhere we can see that there is a certain kind of distinction between behavior when it comes to division of pieces of the society based on their work, on the profession.
Okay.
But I mean, it really depends on where you are in India and all. But so it's not, I can't generalize everything. But here it's very open. I have friends who work in the the, how do you say, who are janitors, or they clean universities, or on the free days they serve tables. When I was new in Paris, I used to work in bars. I used to be the bartender. I used to wait tables in the night. I used to clean the bar before closing. So I've done all that. I mean, and honestly, here nobody looks at you upon. Nobody looks at you as if you are inferior just because you are at that moment in life you're earning less. Or I mean, see, there will be people of all varieties, all kinds of people all over the world. So I can't really generalize, but here I never felt uncomfortable. But if you go to see in India, when we talk about dignity of labor, there is dignity of labor, yes, of course. But then a person working in a small restaurant, very small restaurant in a corner of the street, will not be looked upon maybe with the expectation of the richness the same way we look at the maybe a waiter at a restaurant in Taj. So it's a very social conditioning, I would say, that has happened. and it's not happened in overnight. It has happened over a long period of many years, and as the upbringing of the people in our society. And this exists also here. I'm not saying this society is extremely clean and all. No, there are bullshit people all over the world. I'm not saying no, but here it's everybody's open about it. You do what you want and you earn your bread, and everybody's okay. In the evening, everybody goes to the bar and has drinks together, and doesn't matter you work in a garden, you're a gardener, or you're a lawyer. It doesn't really matter. You sit together and you have friends all over. When we talk about music, now let me come to the music part of this. It is hard for a musician to earn their bread by playing. I would agree to this, but there is also an important factor to note here. Very important. Lot of people. That's what people do. They will not dream about playing extremely well, or they will not dream about expanding their horizon beyond just one type of music. They will never dare to attempt something which is outside the box, or which disturbs their comfort level. Lot of musicians, for example, I know a lot of people from our industry. They play in Bombay shows, they play a lot of shows, they play a lot of recording sessions, but they are compartmentalized. They can do only that. Like you have studied jazz. You studied with D Woods, correct? D Woods.
I studied Arabic from an Arabic
right.
musician.
And you know what I'm talking about, because you have taken the knowledge from the right people, and you dared, when you had an opportunity, you dared to spread your wings and to expand your horizon to the places which were doubtful. What was the guarantee that by learning all this kind of music, your life would take a certain direction? You had no idea. आपको पता ही नहीं था क्या होने वाला है. But you learned. Why? Because you wanted to learn music. You did not keep that vision in mind of making certain money or making certain how do you say, payment package or something like that. You had nothing like that in your mind. You learned because I learned because I want to learn music. I mean, I have no idea if tomorrow I'm going to earn 500 euros a month or 2000 euros a month. I don't know. Who has seen the future? But at this moment, it is important to learn extremely well. And for the musicians who play well, who know their thing, who can go in any situation, and who can, we say dig the dig. It's basically for the musicians who can really perform, or for the composers who can really compose, or the arrangers who can really arrange, or the music producers who can produce well. If you dream to be a master of your profession, you will always find success in terms of name, fame, money, and good life, and good productive life rather. You will always find success. And like you said earlier, you told me a very nice line that we become what we imagine, or something like that.
And we are what we think.
Exactly. And there is I don't know if a lot of I don't know who follows it, but there is a very old American orator, Dale Nightingale, and I would suggest to go to YouTube and listen to his videos, and he's very inspiring. And he was considered to be the dean of self-development, and he was a radio show host in the 1970s, roughly around that time.
You're talking about Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich. I'm talking about Nightingale, Dale Nightingale, and he was a great personality. There is it's one of his rules, one of his 10 rules to success kind of. He had written, I had read it long time back, in which he says that we imagine what we become what we imagine of ourselves. Exactly. If a student is insecure, if a person is insecure about learning music and making life, first, he will never be able to learn because he's always insecure in his mind. Second, he'll never be able to make music and earn bread because since his journey started, he always thought that it is an insecure field. What is going to happen is throughout his journey, he's going to have lesser faith than he should have in himself. And that way, it's going to be less productive for him. But rather, when you learn music, you have to give 100% of your trust and faith in yourself, and you have to go to that direction. You have to make this as your goal that, okay, I really want to be, never think that, okay, I want to be a musician who earns 10 lakhs a month. No, don't have that kind of, that's the worst way of thinking. Then, even if अगर आपको 20 लाख मिलने तो भी आप 10 पे अटकोगे जिंदगी भर. What I mean is,
wow,
that's how I think.
We only decided our limit.
Exactly. That's how I think. I never decide how much I'm going to gain out of it. But if I like something, if I want to do that, I put it in my goals, write it down on a piece of paper. Whenever you get up in the morning, read it. Before you go to sleep, read that one line and give 5 years of your life to that direction. 6th year, you will be not only counting benefits, but your benefits will be uncountable. I mean, that's my honest take, because for so many years I've been playing, I've been working, and I am studying here now. I mean, it's a very privileged thing. It's a Paris is one of the richest cities, and music, just by playing piano and teaching piano, and it has given me this opportunity to spend and learn here in this incredible city and incredible school. So music can give you. It's not. I mean, I cannot really say this for everyone, because when I say everyone means those who procrastinate and those who don't believe in themselves. So apart from these two people,
because I know a little bit, because I've not been able to, because we decided last moment today. I've not been able to give your complete introduction. I'll be doing it later on.
Okay.
But I know you have made your plannings. You made money first. You worked, you earned, and then you applied, and then you went abroad.
Right.
And then that's really बहुत appreciate करने लायक चीज है.
Thank you.
खाली वो एक last point रह गया कि बड़ा म्यूजिशियन छोटे म्यूजिशियन का जो नजरिया है, वो बदलने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए? मतलब कोई म्यूजिशियन बहुत अच्छा बजाने वाला है. I had seen a sarangi player, mind blowing. He didn't have a very heavy. I mean, he was a kind of a middle class musician.
Okay.
पर उनका वादन आप सुनेंगे तो ऐसा लगेगा कि यार क्या रिचनेस है, मतलब. तो we can't judge somebody from what brand of car he is using, क्या कपड़े पहन रहा है, क्या जूते पहन रहा है. उसके लिए क्या कहना चाहोगे? वो एक लास्ट पॉइंट है.
देखिए, मैं तो सबसे पहले तो मैं ये म्यूजिशियंस को कहना चाहूँगा कि those who are big musicians, those who are established, I know a lot of great musicians, even in Bombay, मैं जिनके साथ मिला हूँ आज तक, very few people are mean to their subordinates, students, right? I would say those who are at the student learning. There are people who are really rude, and I have come across also. There are people who are very nasty, and they can make you feel disgusted. But apart from those few, there are not many personalities who would make you do that. But apart from these few, there are really great musicians who are super successful, and they are very helpful. I believe in very simple thing. If you knock, it will be open to you. And if you ask what you seek, you will find it. It is not, and this is for musicians who are struggling, who are learning. It is not for us to decide what others want to think of us. I mean, what others think of me today. I can't control everyone's opinion or reaction towards me. There are people who appreciate. There are people who are indifferent. It's okay. It's everybody has a choice. But what is in my control is that if I ever hear a negative comment, or if I ever hear something bad spoken about me, how much can I let it affect me? That is what I can control. That is in my hands. So if someone says something to you, or if you feel inferior, first of all, it's your choice to let others treat you badly. If you don't want to be treated badly, make a certain commanding lifestyle, confident lifestyle. I don't by no means I mean, buy expensive clothes or something. No, but just the way you talk. If somebody gives you bad things, don't take it. Just make it very clear to them that you don't appreciate them talking to you that way. That's it. It's as simple as that. You don't need. It is us who should tell others how to treat us. अगर आज कोई उठ के मुझे बोलता है, if they abuse me, if they say something, I'll be like, listen, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to abuse you because I can't match your standards. But I don't appreciate you talking to me this way, and I'll walk off. That's all I need to do. But at no point will I take that personally, and I will keep crying over it. I won't do that. So as a growing musician, I know it happens, and it has happened with me. I am a part. I have taken the same route as everyone like y'all. I've grown from the things which are hardest, the struggle and everything. So I have also seen bad things. I have also seen things spoken about me, but I never let them affect me. And I think this is a mantra. This is really important as a musician, or as any artist. Because see, with art, if you get affected easily by things, you will never be able to succeed, because you will never be able to express yourself. You should let that go. Just close yourself to that. जो बोलना है, जिसको बोलना है बोलते रहेगा. Let them talk. Let them keep saying what they want. Just bar yourself from those stupid things and focus on your work. What I said earlier, write down your goal on a piece of paper, read it every morning. And if everyone, this is what I do, okay, this is what I did a long time back. You write this goal down, and whenever you get some negative thoughts in your head that, okay, I'm not going to play well, or will I be a professional musician? Will I make money out of this? Never think of money, but I'm just saying, if it still happens, will I make a big living, or, will I grow my lifestyle? Read that goal. And if you want to write about how successfully and rich you want, write in that goal. Just write in that goal. You can be as clear as you want where you want to be in that goal. And if you have doubts about what you're doing, read that goal, clear those doubts, get back to work.
Wow.
And it will take you.
That's it. Yeah, that's the best tip to. Yeah, you're very right.
So yeah.
So by the way, did you study some motivational stuff, or because you sound precise in motivation?
I didn't study motivation a lot or anything, but I have been, I don't know, somehow I've got experienced in doing this, and I've gone through a lot of things, and then people have helped me in my journey. I've got a lot of people, and they have really been next to me in my most difficult times, and I have learned things or two. But also I'm an avid reader. I read voraciously. I read a lot, right from literature to poetries, and I read a lot. And I think reading also is a great thing for musicians. Reading or paintings or traveling. Traveling will make great musician out of you. And because I do traveling, reading, and I appreciate all other arts, I go to paintings, exhibitions, I see other artists. I somehow I have seen a lot of world, and I don't know, when I talk like this, it's probably from experiences or something, like I said, I've done that. So.
Okay, one last message to the musicians.
Okay. I would just say in a very simple term, if you're doing nothing, go to your instrument and practice. If you're doing anything else, leave that, go to your instrument and practice. That's it. That's all I can say.
Wow. Actually, you know what? My planning was to get into music, but the way you started communicating, I think I don't get what you said about life of a musician, the psychological aspects of music and a musician. So I think this video will be the most unique video ever I made.
I'm glad to be a part of it.
It's so useful. I will go back to, because there were some words were not clear because of the internet stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll redo it and too much of the next. I request next session we will do with that music what you want to give to students, and
Sure.
and we can also plan out when you come to India, and when are you coming to India next?
August or September, something around August or September.
Okay, yeah. Then August, September we meet and do a session kind of stuff.
Sure. Yeah. I'll be very glad. Yes.
Yeah. So we are ending this session, and a big thanks.
Thank you. In fact, I'm very happy. I'm very happy that we could do this. And honestly, I would love to be a part of this again and again. And I would be very happy to share whatever I can share. So please count on me next time you want to make anything like this. I'll be always there.
Yeah, and my sincere apology if I missed out something, or because I'm doing this for the first time like you.
Yeah. Same
I
here.
was a bit stressed out during the session, the technical aspects of stuff,
Right.
and can't read the comments, and
Right.
होगा कि नहीं, मैंने बीच में comment डाली तो account से log out हो गया था.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So many things, but anyway, we'll be in touch, and
Yes.
you can close down and say bye to the
Yes, absolutely.
bye to all friends.
Okay. Bye,
And
dear musicians, and see you later. Bye.
exit नहीं करना, I will save the video first, and then
So, do you want me to यहाँ पे finish करूँ या
live off करते हैं. Live off करना.
live off करूँ ना? Okay, I don't know how to off the live. यहाँ पे finish का button लिखा है.
Finish. That's finished.
Wait, I'll rather show it to you so that way you know what I'm doing. See, यहाँ पे on the screen there is this is finish here. This is the one.
Finish.
Okay.